Chemical weapons tests on humans and the role scientists play in disclosing information about these activities. Chemical weapons have been a controversial topic for decades, with reports of their use dating back to ancient times. In the 20th century, chemical weapons were used on a large scale during World War I and have since been banned under international law. Despite this, there have been several instances where governments and other groups have used chemical weapons against civilians, raising serious ethical concerns about the use of these weapons. One of the most notorious examples of chemical weapons use was the 1988 attack on the Kurdish town of Halabja in Iraq. The attack, which was carried out by the Iraqi government, killed an estimated 5,000 people and injured thousands more. The attack involved the use of mustard gas and nerve agents, which caused severe burns, respiratory problems, and other serious health issues. In recent years, there have been reports of chemical weapons being used in Syria and other conflict zones, further highlighting the need for international action to prevent the use of these weapons. The development and testing of chemical weapons has also been a controversial issue. During World War II, the United States and other countries conducted experiments on prisoners and other vulnerable populations to test the effects of chemical weapons. These experiments were later criticized as unethical and inhumane, and efforts have been made to prevent similar experiments from occurring in the future. In more recent times, there have been concerns about the use of chemical weapons in animal testing. Many animal rights activists argue that the use of animals in testing chemical weapons is cruel and unnecessary, and that alternative testing methods should be used instead. Despite the controversy surrounding chemical weapons, there have been many scientists and experts who have worked to expose the dangers of these weapons and advocate for their elimination. One example is the OPCW, which was established in 1997 to implement the Chemical Weapons Convention and ensure that chemical weapons are never used again. The OPCW has played a critical role in verifying the destruction of chemical weapons stockpiles and investigating allegations of chemical weapons use. In 2013, the OPCW was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for its efforts to eliminate chemical weapons and promote peace. Another example of scientists working to expose the dangers of chemical weapons is the group of whistleblowers who exposed the use of Agent Orange during the Vietnam War. Agent Orange was a herbicide used by the U.S. military to clear foliage and crops during the war. However, it was later discovered that Agent Orange was contaminated with dioxin, a highly toxic chemical that caused widespread health problems for both U.S. soldiers and Vietnamese civilians. The whistleblowers who exposed the use of Agent Orange faced significant backlash from the government and military officials. But their efforts helped to raise awareness about the dangers of chemical weapons and the importance of transparency in government activities. Despite the efforts of organizations like the OPCW, the threat of chemical weapons still exists. In recent years, there have been reports of chemical weapons use in Syria and other conflict zones, highlighting the need for continued vigilance and action to prevent the use of these weapons. One challenge in preventing the use of chemical weapons is the difficulty in detecting and identifying them. Unlike conventional weapons, chemical weapons can be odorless, invisible, and difficult to detect with traditional methods. This makes it challenging to verify allegations of chemical weapons use and to hold those responsible accountable for their actions. To address this challenge, scientists and experts are developing new technologies and methods for detecting and identifying chemical weapons. For example, researchers are exploring the use of drones equipped with sensors to detect chemical weapons in conflict zones. Other researchers are developing advanced analytical techniques for identifying chemical signatures and tracing the origin of chemical weapons. In addition to detecting and identifying chemical weapons, there is also a need for effective response mechanisms in the event of a chemical weapons attack. This includes providing medical care and treatment to those affected by the attack, as well as decontaminating the affected area and preventing further exposure. The use of chemical weapons also raises broader ethical concerns about the use of force in international relations. Critics argue that the use of chemical weapons is a violation of international law and humanitarian principles, and that those responsible should be held accountable for their actions. At the same time, there are debates about the appropriate response to chemical weapons use. Some argue that military intervention is necessary to prevent the use of chemical weapons and protect civilians, while others argue that nonviolent means such as diplomacy and economic sanctions should be used to address the issue. The use of chemical weapons also has long-term health and environmental consequences. The toxic chemicals used in these weapons can persist in the environment for years, causing damage to ecosystems and posing a threat to human health. For example, the use of Agent Orange during the Vietnam War has had lasting effects on the environment and public health. The herbicide contaminated soil and water sources, leading to widespread health problems and birth defects among Vietnamese civilians and U.S. soldiers. Similarly, the use of chemical weapons in Syria and other conflict zones has led to environmental contamination and health problems for civilians. The chemicals used in these weapons can contaminate the soil, water sources, and air, posing a threat to both human and animal life. Efforts to address the environmental and health consequences of chemical weapons use involve not only cleanup and decontamination efforts but also long-term monitoring and research. Scientists and organizations are working to understand the full extent of the damage caused by chemical weapons and to develop strategies for mitigating their environmental and health impacts. Another challenge in addressing the use of chemical weapons is the ongoing threat of proliferation. The knowledge and technology needed to produce chemical weapons are widely available, and there is a risk that they could fall into the wrong hands. To prevent the proliferation of chemical weapons, governments and international organizations have implemented measures such as export controls, inspections, and disarmament agreements. These efforts aim to prevent the spread of chemical weapons technology and materials and to promote transparency and cooperation among countries. In addition to these measures, there is also a need for continued research and development of alternative technologies and materials that can replace the use of chemical weapons. This includes developing non-toxic alternatives for industrial and agricultural use, as well as developing new methods for addressing security threats that do not rely on the use of chemical weapons. In addition to the challenges already mentioned, the use of chemical weapons also has a significant impact on the mental health and well-being of those affected. Survivors of chemical weapons attacks may experience long-term trauma, including anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. It is important to provide support and resources to those affected by chemical weapons attacks, including mental health services and access to medical care. These efforts can help to address the long-term psychological impacts of chemical weapons use and promote healing and recovery. Another challenge in addressing the use of chemical weapons is the issue of accountability. Those responsible for the use of chemical weapons must be held accountable for their actions. However, identifying and prosecuting those responsible can be difficult, particularly in conflict zones where there may be limited access and resources for investigations. Efforts to hold those responsible accountable may involve criminal prosecutions, international tribunals, or other legal mechanisms. These efforts require cooperation among governments and international organizations, as well as access to resources and expertise to conduct investigations and bring those responsible to justice. Finally, the use of chemical weapons highlights the need for ongoing education and awareness about the dangers of these weapons. Chemical weapons have long been a source of concern for the international community, with their use dating back to ancient times. In the 20th century, chemical weapons were used on a large scale during World War I, and since then, they have been banned under international law. Despite this, there have been several instances where governments and other groups have used chemical weapons against civilians, raising serious ethical concerns about the use of these weapons. To address this issue, the international community has made significant efforts to control and prohibit the use of chemical weapons. One of the most important steps in this effort was the adoption of the Chemical Weapons Convention, CWC, in 1993, which was designed to eliminate chemical weapons and prevent their proliferation. Under the CWC, signatory states are required to destroy their chemical weapons stockpiles and facilities, and to verify their compliance through inspections and other measures. The CWC also prohibits the use, development, production, stockpiling, and transfer of chemical weapons, and establishes a mechanism for investigating allegations of chemical weapons use. Since its adoption, the CWC has been successful in achieving its objectives. More than 98% of declared chemical weapons stockpiles have been destroyed, and the number of countries possessing chemical weapons has decreased significantly. The CWC has also played a critical role in investigating and addressing allegations of chemical weapons use, including in Syria and other conflict zones. Another important effort to control and prohibit the use of chemical weapons is the work of the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, OPCW, which was established in 1997 to implement the CWC and ensure that chemical weapons are never used again. The OPCW has played a critical role in verifying the destruction of chemical weapons stockpiles and investigating allegations of chemical weapons use. In 2013, the OPCW was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for its efforts to eliminate chemical weapons and promote peace. In addition to these efforts, there have also been international agreements and initiatives aimed at preventing the proliferation of chemical weapons technology and materials. For example, the Australia Group is a voluntary group of countries that work together to control the export of chemicals and technologies that could be used to develop chemical weapons. Despite these efforts, the threat of chemical weapons still exists. In recent years, there have been reports of chemical weapons being used in Syria and other conflict zones, highlighting the need for continued vigilance and action to prevent the use of these weapons. To address this challenge, there are several steps that the international community can take. One important step is to improve the detection and identification of chemical weapons, including through the use of advanced technologies and methods such as drones and analytical techniques. Another important step is to improve the response mechanisms in the event of a chemical weapons attack. This includes providing medical care and treatment to those affected by the attack, as well as decontaminating the affected area and preventing further exposure. In addition, there is a need for continued research and development of alternative technologies and materials that can replace the use of chemical weapons. This includes developing non-toxic alternatives for industrial and agricultural use, as well as developing new methods for addressing security threats that do not rely on the use of chemical weapons. Finally, it is important to promote awareness and education about the dangers of chemical weapons and the importance of preventing their use. This includes efforts to dispel myths and misconceptions about chemical weapons, as well as promoting a culture of nonviolence and respect for human life. The use of chemical weapons not only poses a threat to human life and security, but also has lasting effects on the environment and public health. Chemical weapons can contaminate soil, water sources, and air, causing damage to ecosystems and posing a long-term threat to human and animal life. Efforts to address the environmental and health consequences of chemical weapons use involve not only cleanup and decontamination efforts but also long-term monitoring and research. Scientists and organizations are working to understand the full extent of the damage caused by chemical weapons and to develop strategies for mitigating their environmental and health impacts. In addition to the threat of chemical weapons being used in conflict zones, there is also a risk of terrorist groups acquiring and using these weapons. The ease of access to chemical weapons technology and materials, coupled with the desire of some extremist groups to inflict harm on civilians, creates a significant risk of chemical weapons being used in acts of terrorism. To address this risk, governments and international organizations are working to prevent the proliferation of chemical weapons and to improve security measures to prevent their acquisition by terrorist groups. This includes efforts to secure chemical weapons stockpiles, improve border security, and promote awareness about the risks of chemical weapons use. Another challenge in addressing the issue of chemical weapons is the lack of resources and expertise in some countries to address the issue. Developing countries may lack the resources and infrastructure necessary to detect and respond to chemical weapons attacks, and may not have the expertise to conduct investigations or hold those responsible accountable. Efforts to address this challenge may involve providing technical assistance and training to developing countries, as well as promoting international cooperation and collaboration to address the issue. Finally, it is important to recognize the role that civil society and non-governmental organizations can play in addressing the issue of chemical weapons. These organizations can provide valuable insights and expertise, as well as advocacy and awareness-raising efforts to promote action and accountability. One of the challenges in addressing the issue of chemical weapons is the lack of universal ratification of the Chemical Weapons Convention. While the majority of countries have signed and ratified the agreement, there are still a small number of countries that have not, including Syria and North Korea. The lack of ratification of the CWC by these countries has made it more difficult to achieve the goal of eliminating chemical weapons worldwide. In the case of Syria, the OPCW has been able to conduct investigations and verify the destruction of chemical weapons stockpiles. But the ongoing conflict in the country has made it difficult to ensure full compliance with the CWC. Another challenge is the potential for the development of new, unknown chemical weapons. While the CWC prohibits the use of specific chemicals in weapons, it is possible that new chemicals could be developed that are not covered by the agreement. This highlights the need for ongoing research and development of new technologies to detect and identify unknown chemical weapons. Efforts to address the issue of chemical weapons also need to take into account the broader context of international relations and conflict resolution. The use of chemical weapons often occurs in the context of armed conflict, and addressing the issue requires not only a focus on the weapons themselves but also on the underlying causes of conflict and the need for peaceful resolution. In addition, there is a need to address the issue of accountability for those responsible for the use of chemical weapons. This includes not only criminal prosecutions but also efforts to address the root causes of the use of these weapons and to promote a culture of nonviolence and respect for human life. The issue of chemical weapons also has implications for international humanitarian law and human rights. The use of these weapons violates the fundamental principles of humanitarian law, such as the prohibition of indiscriminate attacks, the requirement to distinguish between military targets and civilians, and the obligation to take precautions to avoid causing unnecessary harm to civilians. The use of chemical weapons also violates the right to life and the right to health, as well as other human rights. Applications of chemistry in healthcare, including drugs and medical materials. Chemistry plays a vital role in the field of healthcare, with a wide range of applications in the development of pharmaceuticals and medical materials. From the discovery of new drugs to the development of innovative medical devices, chemistry is at the forefront of many advances in healthcare. One of the key applications of chemistry in healthcare is the development of pharmaceuticals. Chemistry is used to identify and synthesize compounds that can be used to treat or prevent diseases. These compounds are then tested in a variety of preclinical and clinical studies to determine their safety and efficacy. Chemistry is also used in the development of new drug delivery systems. These systems can be used to deliver drugs to specific parts of the body, to improve their bioavailability, or to control their release. Examples of drug delivery systems include liposomes, nanoparticles, and implantable devices. In addition to the development of new drugs and drug delivery systems, chemistry is also used in the production of medical materials. Medical materials are used in a wide range of applications, from wound care to dental implants to artificial organs. One important application of medical materials is in the field of tissue engineering. Tissue engineering involves the use of materials and cells to create new tissues and organs. Chemistry is used to develop materials that can mimic the properties of natural tissues, as well as to develop biomaterials that can support the growth and development of cells. Chemistry is also used in the development of medical imaging technologies. Medical imaging technologies, such as X-rays, MRI, and CT scans, rely on the use of contrast agents to enhance the visibility of different tissues and structures in the body. These contrast agents are often based on chemical compounds that have specific properties that allow them to interact with different tissues and structures in the body. Another important application of chemistry in healthcare is in the development of diagnostic tests. Chemistry is used to develop tests that can detect the presence of specific biomolecules, such as proteins or nucleic acids, in blood or other bodily fluids. These tests can be used to diagnose diseases, monitor the progression of diseases, or to screen for risk factors for certain diseases. Chemistry is also used in the field of drug discovery. Drug discovery involves the identification and development of new drugs that can be used to treat or prevent diseases. Chemistry is used to identify and synthesize compounds that have the potential to be developed into drugs, as well as to modify existing compounds to improve their properties and efficacy. Chemistry is also essential in the development of personalized medicine. Personalized medicine involves tailoring medical treatment to an individual's specific needs, taking into account factors such as their genetic makeup and the characteristics of their disease. Chemistry is used to develop new diagnostic tests and therapies that can be tailored to individual patients. In addition, chemistry is also used in the development of vaccines. Vaccines are a crucial tool in preventing the spread of infectious diseases. Chemistry is used to synthesize and modify antigens, which are the components of vaccines that stimulate the immune system to produce antibodies. Chemistry is also used in the development of adjuvants, which are substances that can enhance the immune response to vaccines. Chemistry is also used in the development of anti-cancer therapies. Cancer is a complex disease, and the development of effective treatments requires a deep understanding of the underlying biology and chemistry of cancer cells. Chemotherapy, which involves the use of chemicals to kill cancer cells, is one of the most common treatments for cancer. Chemistry is also used in the development of targeted therapies, which are designed to selectively target cancer cells while minimizing damage to healthy cells. Another important application of chemistry in healthcare is in the development of medical devices. Medical devices are used in a wide range of applications, from diagnosis to treatment to monitoring of patients. Chemistry is used to develop materials that can be used in medical devices, as well as to develop coatings and surfaces that can prevent infections and improve the performance of devices. One emerging application of chemistry in healthcare is the field of regenerative medicine. Regenerative medicine involves the use of cells, tissues, and other materials to repair or replace damaged or diseased tissue. Chemistry is used to develop biomaterials that can support the growth and development of cells, as well as to develop methods for controlling the differentiation of stem cells into specific types of cells. Chemistry is also used in the development of biosensors. Biosensors are devices that can detect the presence of specific molecules or cells in the body. These devices can be used to monitor the progression of diseases or to detect the presence of pathogens in the body. Chemistry is used to develop the sensing elements of these devices, as well as to develop methods for integrating these sensing elements into devices that can be used in clinical settings. Another important application of chemistry in healthcare is in the development of sustainable and eco-friendly materials. The healthcare industry generates a significant amount of waste, including single-use plastics and hazardous materials. Chemistry is being used to develop new materials that are biodegradable, non-toxic, and sustainable. These materials can be used in a variety of applications, from drug delivery to wound care to medical device coatings. Chemistry is also used in the development of nutraceuticals and functional foods. Nutraceuticals are products that have medical or health benefits in addition to their nutritional value. Chemistry is used to identify and isolate the active compounds in these products, as well as to develop methods for delivering these compounds to the body. Functional foods are foods that have health benefits beyond their basic nutritional value. Chemistry is used to develop new food products that can improve health outcomes and prevent disease. Chemistry is also being used to develop new methods for drug discovery and development. One area of focus is the development of high-throughput screening methods, which can rapidly and efficiently test large numbers of compounds for their activity against a specific target. These methods rely on the use of robotics, automated liquid handling, and other technologies to accelerate the drug discovery process. Another important application of chemistry in healthcare is in the development of gene therapies. Gene therapies involve the delivery of genetic material to cells in the body to treat or prevent diseases. Chemistry is used to develop vectors, which are vehicles that can deliver genetic material to cells, as well as to develop methods for controlling the expression of genes in cells. Chemistry is also being used to develop new methods for drug delivery. One promising approach is the use of nanotechnology to deliver drugs to specific cells or tissues in the body. Nanoparticles can be designed to have specific properties that allow them to target specific cells or tissues, and can be loaded with drugs that are released in a controlled manner. Chemistry is also being used to develop new methods for understanding the underlying mechanisms of diseases. One area of focus is the development of chemical probes, which are small molecules that can selectively bind to specific proteins or other molecules in cells. Chemical probes can be used to study the function of specific proteins or to identify new targets for drug development. Another important application of chemistry in healthcare is in the development of biomarkers. Biomarkers are measurable indicators of disease or physiological processes in the body. Chemistry is used to develop methods for identifying and measuring biomarkers, as well as to develop methods for using biomarkers to diagnose and monitor diseases. Chemistry is also being used to develop new methods for drug formulation. Drug formulation involves the development of methods for delivering drugs to the body in a safe and effective manner. Chemical reactions and manufacturing processes in the aluminum industry, including the production of aluminum and aluminum compounds. Aluminum is a versatile metal that is widely used in many industries, including construction, transportation, and packaging. The production of aluminum and aluminum compounds involves a range of chemical reactions and manufacturing processes that are critical to the quality and efficiency of the final products. The production of aluminum begins with the mining and processing of bauxite, which is the primary raw material used in the production of aluminum. Bauxite is mined in open-pit mines and then transported to alumina refineries, where it is processed into alumina, which is a white, powdery substance. The production of alumina involves a series of chemical reactions that convert bauxite into alumina. The first step in this process is the digestion of bauxite in a solution of sodium hydroxide at high temperatures and pressures. This process dissolves the aluminum hydroxide in the bauxite, leaving behind impurities such as iron and silica. The resulting solution, called sodium aluminate, is then subjected to a process known as precipitation. In this process, the sodium aluminate is mixed with carbon dioxide to form aluminum hydroxide, which is then filtered, washed, and dried to form alumina. Once alumina has been produced, it can be used to manufacture a wide range of aluminum products. One of the most common methods of aluminum production is the Hall-Héroult process, which involves the electrolysis of alumina in a molten mixture of cryolite and aluminum fluoride. This process produces liquid aluminum, which can be cast into various shapes and sizes. In addition to the production of aluminum compounds are also widely used in many industries. One of the most common aluminum compounds is aluminum oxide, which is used as an abrasive in the production of sandpaper, grinding wheels, and other abrasive products. Aluminum oxide is also used as a catalyst in the production of chemicals such as ethylene and propylene. Another important aluminum compound is aluminum sulfate, which is used as a coagulant in water treatment plants. Aluminum sulfate is added to water to promote the formation of flocks, which can then be filtered out of the water. This process helps to remove impurities such as bacteria, algae, and sediment from the water. Aluminum chloride is another important aluminum compound that is used in a variety of applications. It is used as a catalyst in the production of polypropylene and other plastics, as well as in the production of synthetic rubber. Aluminum chloride is also used as a coagulant in the treatment of drinking water and wastewater. The production of aluminum and aluminum compounds involves a range of chemical reactions and manufacturing processes that are critical to the quality and efficiency of the final products. Through the use of advanced technologies and innovative processes, the aluminum industry continues to evolve and improve, providing high-quality aluminum products for a wide range of applications. One of the challenges in the production of aluminum is the high energy consumption required for the Hall-Héroult process. This process requires large amounts of electrical energy to split the alumina into aluminum and oxygen. As a result, the aluminum industry is constantly seeking more efficient and sustainable methods for producing aluminum. One promising approach is the use of renewable energy sources such as wind and solar power to generate the electricity needed for the Hall-Héroult process. By using renewable energy sources, the aluminum industry can reduce its carbon footprint and minimize the environmental impact of aluminum production. In addition to improving the sustainability of aluminum production, chemistry is also being used to develop new alloys and coatings that can improve the performance and durability of aluminum products. For example, the addition of small amounts of other metals such as copper, magnesium, and zinc can significantly improve the strength and corrosion resistance of aluminum alloys. Chemistry is also being used to develop new surface treatments and coatings that can protect aluminum products from corrosion and wear. Anodizing is one such process, which involves the electrochemical oxidation of the surface of aluminum to create a hard, durable coating that is resistant to corrosion and wear. Another important application of chemistry in the aluminum industry is in the recycling of aluminum. Aluminum is highly recyclable, and recycling aluminum requires only a fraction of the energy required to produce new aluminum from bauxite. Chemistry is used to develop processes for separating aluminum from other materials and recyclable materials such as cans, and to develop methods for processing recycled aluminum into new products. Chemistry is also being used to address the environmental challenges associated with the production of aluminum. One of the major environmental concerns with aluminum production is the production of greenhouse gases, particularly carbon dioxide, during the Hall-Héroult process. This process accounts for a significant portion of the global greenhouse gas emissions. To address this issue, chemistry is being used to develop new technologies for capturing and storing carbon dioxide emitted during the Hall-Héroult process. One approach is the use of carbon capture and storage (CCS) technologies, which involve capturing carbon dioxide emissions and storing them underground or in other long-term storage facilities. Another approach is to develop new processes for producing aluminum that do not rely on the Hall-Héroult process. One promising approach is the use of carbothermic reduction, which involves the reduction of alumina using a carbon source such as coal or natural gas. This process produces solid carbon dioxide, which can be captured and stored or used for other applications. Chemistry is also being used to develop new methods for reducing the environmental impact of aluminum products throughout their life cycle. For example, chemistry is being used to develop new methods for recycling aluminum products at the end of their useful life, reducing the amount of aluminum that ends up in landfills. Furthermore, chemistry is being used to develop new methods for designing and producing aluminum products with a lower environmental impact. For example, lightweight aluminum alloys are being developed to improve fuel efficiency in the transportation industry, reducing greenhouse gas emissions from vehicles. Another important application of chemistry in the aluminum industry is in the development of new methods for refining and purifying aluminum. During the production of aluminum, impurities such as iron, silicon, and titanium can be introduced into the aluminum, which can affect its properties and performance. Chemistry is being used to develop new methods for removing these impurities from aluminum, such as the use of fluxes and refining agents. Fluxes are materials that are added to the molten aluminum to remove impurities, while refining agents are chemicals that are added to the molten aluminum to reduce the levels of impurities. Chemistry is also being used to develop new methods for improving the surface properties of aluminum products. Surface treatments such as chromate conversion and electroplating can be used to improve the corrosion resistance and adhesion of paints and other coatings on aluminum products. In addition, chemistry is being used to develop new methods for producing aluminum foams and other lightweight materials. Aluminum foams are lightweight, high-strength materials that have a wide range of applications in industries such as aerospace, automotive, and construction. Chemistry is being used to develop new foaming agents and processing methods for producing aluminum foams with specific properties. Chemistry is also being used to develop new methods for the production of aluminum powders and other specialized aluminum products. Aluminum powders are used in a wide range of applications, including in the production of paints, inks, and explosives. One approach to producing aluminum powders is through the atomization of molten aluminum. Technology using silicone adhesive products. Silicone adhesives are a class of materials that have found widespread use in a variety of industries, including construction, automotive, electronics, and healthcare. These materials are versatile and have a wide range of properties that make them suitable for many different applications. One of the key advantages of silicone adhesives is their high thermal stability. Silicone adhesives can withstand extreme temperatures, making them ideal for use in high-temperature environments such as engines and industrial ovens. Additionally, silicone adhesives are resistant to moisture, chemicals, and UV light, making them suitable for use in harsh environments. Silicone adhesives are also highly flexible and have excellent adhesion properties. They can bond to a wide range of substrates, including metals, plastics, and glass, and can maintain their bond strength even under stress or movement. This makes them ideal for use in applications such as sealing and bonding in construction and automotive industries. Another advantage of silicone adhesives is their biocompatibility, making them suitable for use in medical and healthcare applications. Silicone adhesives can be used to bond medical devices, such as catheters and implants, to tissues and organs without causing adverse reactions. They also have a low toxicity, making them safe for use in medical and healthcare applications. Silicone adhesives are available in a variety of forms, including one-part and two-part formulations. One-part silicone adhesives are pre-cured and do not require any mixing before use, while two-part silicone adhesives require mixing before use. Two-part silicone adhesives offer a longer working time and can be used for applications that require a longer curing time. Silicone adhesives are also available in a range of colors and viscosities, making them suitable for a wide range of applications. They can be used for sealing and bonding in construction and automotive industries, as well as for electronic and aerospace applications. One of the challenges associated with silicone adhesives is their relatively high cost compared to other adhesive materials. However, the high performance and durability of silicone adhesives often make them a cost-effective choice for applications that require high reliability and long-term performance. In addition, chemistry research and development is being used to develop new formulations of silicone adhesives that offer improved performance and lower cost. For example, new silicone adhesives are being developed that offer improved bonding strength and faster curing times, while also being more cost-effective. Silicone adhesives are also being used in the development of new technologies such as flexible electronics and wearable devices. These devices require materials that are flexible, durable, and able to withstand repeated bending and stretching. Silicone adhesives are ideal for use in these applications because of their flexibility and high adhesion strength. They can be used to bond components together and provide a flexible, protective coating over electronic devices. Additionally, silicone adhesives can be used as a sealant to protect against moisture and other environmental factors. In the aerospace industry, silicone adhesives are being used in the development of new composite materials for aircraft and spacecraft. These materials require adhesives that can withstand extreme temperatures and harsh environments. Silicone adhesives are ideal for use in these applications because of their high thermal stability and resistance to moisture and chemicals. They can be used to bond composite materials together and provide a protective coating over the surface of aircraft and spacecraft components. Furthermore, chemistry research and development is being used to develop new silicone adhesives that are more environmentally friendly. Traditional silicone adhesives can be difficult to recycle and can have a negative impact on the environment. New formulations of silicone adhesives are being developed that are biodegradable and can be easily recycled. In addition, new methods of producing silicone adhesives are being developed that are more sustainable and energy efficient. For example, new manufacturing processes are being developed that use renewable energy sources, such as solar and wind power, to reduce the carbon footprint of silicone adhesive production. Silicone adhesives are also being used in the development of new technologies for renewable energy production. Silicone adhesives are ideal for use in solar panel manufacturing because of their high thermal stability, flexibility, and resistance to UV light. Silicone adhesives can be used to bond solar panel components together and provide a protective coating over the surface of the panel. Additionally, silicone adhesives can be used to seal the edges of the solar panel to prevent moisture and other environmental factors from degrading the panel over time. Furthermore, chemistry research and development is being used to develop new silicone adhesives that are more efficient at converting sunlight into electricity. New formulations of silicone adhesives are being developed that can absorb a wider range of wavelengths of light, increasing the efficiency of the solar panel. Silicone adhesives are also being used in the development of new technologies for energy storage. One such technology is the development of silicone-based electrolytes for use in redox flow batteries. Redox flow batteries are a type of rechargeable battery that store energy in two tanks of liquid electrolyte. Silicone-based electrolytes are ideal for use in redox flow batteries because of their high thermal stability and resistance to degradation. Additionally, silicone-based electrolytes can be formulated to have high ionic conductivity, which is IMP. Silicone adhesives are also being used in the development of new technologies for the automotive industry. The automotive industry requires materials that are durable, able to withstand extreme temperatures, and have high adhesion strength. Silicone adhesives are ideal for use in these applications because of their high thermal stability and resistance to moisture and chemicals. They can be used to bond components together and provide a flexible, protective coating over automotive parts. Additionally, silicone adhesives can be used as a sealant to prevent leaks and protect against corrosion. In addition, silicone adhesives are being used in the development of new technologies for electric vehicles. Electric vehicles require materials that are lightweight, durable, and able to withstand high temperatures. Silicone adhesives can be used to bond components together and provide a protective coating over electronic components in electric vehicles. Additionally, silicone adhesives can be used as a sealant to protect against moisture and other environmental factors. Furthermore, chemistry research and development is being used to develop new silicone adhesives that are more efficient at converting mechanical energy into electrical energy. New formulations of silicone adhesives are being developed that can generate electricity when subjected to mechanical stress or pressure. These materials have the potential to be used in a wide range of applications, including in the development of self-powered sensors and other electronic devices. Silicone adhesives are also being used in the development of new technologies for the textile and apparel industry. Silicone adhesives can be used to provide a range of functional finishes to textiles, including water repellency, slip resistance, and wrinkle resistance. Technology of manufacturing and using magnet materials and magnetic fields such as magnetic tape. Magnets are an incredibly important class of materials that have found widespread use in a variety of industries, from electronics and telecommunications to energy and transportation. Magnets are used to create electric motors, generators, and transformers, and are also used in magnetic storage devices such as hard drives. The production and use of magnets rely heavily on the properties of magnet materials and magnetic fields. These materials can be divided into two main categories: permanent magnets and electromagnets. Permanent magnets are materials that retain their magnetism for long periods of time without the need for an external magnetic field. Common examples of permanent magnets include neodymium iron boron, NFeB, magnets, and samarium cobalt, SPFO, magnets. NFEB magnets are the strongest type of permanent magnet and are widely used in a variety of applications, including electric motors, wind turbines, and medical devices. SPO magnets are less common but are used in high-temperature applications where other types of magnets would not be suitable. Electromagnets, on the other hand, are magnets that are created by passing an electric current through a coil of wire. The strength of an electromagnet can be adjusted by varying the current flowing through the wire. Electromagnets are widely used in a variety of applications, including in electric motors, generators, and transformers. They are also used in magnetic levitation systems, which use magnetic fields to levitate objects in the air. In addition to magnets, magnetic fields are also used in a variety of other applications, including in magnetic storage devices such as hard drives and magnetic resonance imaging (MRI) scanners. Hard drives use magnetic fields to store data on a spinning disk, while MRI scanners use magnetic fields to create detailed images of the internal structures of the body. Another important application of magnetic fields is in magnetic levitation systems, which use magnetic fields to levitate objects in the air. These systems are used in a variety of applications, including in high-speed trains and transportation systems. One of the most important applications of magnetic fields is in the generation of electricity. Electric generators use magnets to create a rotating magnetic field, which generates electrical energy as it interacts with a coil of wire. The use of magnetic fields in energy generation has become increasingly important in recent years, especially with the growing interest in renewable energy sources such as wind and solar power. Wind turbines and solar panels both rely on magnetic fields to generate electricity, and research is ongoing to develop new and more efficient ways of using magnetic fields in energy generation. The use of magnetic fields and materials is not without its challenges, however. One of the primary challenges is the need for strong and stable magnetic fields, which can be difficult to generate and maintain. In addition, magnetic materials can be expensive and difficult to produce, especially for materials with unique or novel properties. There is also the issue of waste and environmental impact, as the production and disposal of magnetic materials can be resource-intensive and potentially harmful to the environment. To address these challenges, researchers are exploring new and more efficient ways of generating and maintaining magnetic fields. This includes the development of new materials and technologies for magnetic field generation, such as superconducting magnets and magnetic levitation systems. There is also growing interest in the development of sustainable and eco-friendly magnetic materials, such as those made from recycled or biodegradable materials. This can help to reduce the environmental impact of magnetic materials production and disposal. Furthermore, researchers are exploring new and innovative applications of magnetic fields and materials, such as in the field of quantum computing. Magnetic fields can be used to manipulate the quantum states of atoms and molecules, which has the potential to revolutionize computing and information technology. Another challenge in the production and use of magnetic fields and materials is the potential impact on human health. While magnetic fields are generally considered safe, there is ongoing research into the potential long-term effects of exposure to magnetic fields. Studies have suggested that exposure to strong magnetic fields may be linked to an increased risk of certain health conditions, such as leukemia and brain tumors. While the evidence is not conclusive, it highlights the need for caution and further research in this area. To address these concerns, there are regulations and guidelines in place for the safe use of magnetic fields and materials in various industries. For example, in the healthcare industry, MRI machines are carefully calibrated to ensure that patients are exposed to safe levels of magnetic fields during imaging procedures. In addition to safety concerns, there are also ethical and societal considerations to be taken into account in the production and use of magnetic fields and materials. For example, the development of magnetic levitation systems for transportation raises questions about the potential impact on existing transportation industries and infrastructure. There is also the issue of access to magnetic technologies and materials, with concerns about potential disparities in access to these technologies between different countries and socioeconomic groups. To address these concerns, it is important to ensure that the development and use of magnetic fields and materials are guided by ethical and sustainable principles. In addition to the challenges and considerations discussed earlier, there are ongoing efforts to improve the efficiency and performance of magnetic materials and fields. One area of research is the development of new magnetic materials that can operate at higher temperatures, which would allow for the creation of more efficient and powerful electromagnets. This is particularly important in industries such as energy and transportation, where high-powered magnets are required. Another area of research is the development of new magnetic field measurement techniques, which can provide more accurate and precise measurements of magnetic fields. This is important for a variety of applications, including in the field of medical imaging, where precise measurements are necessary for accurate diagnosis and treatment. In addition, researchers are exploring new ways of controlling and manipulating magnetic fields, such as using lasers or other advanced techniques. This has the potential to open up new applications of magnetic fields and materials in areas such as quantum computing and communication. Furthermore, there is ongoing research into the use of magnetic fields and materials in space exploration and astronomy. Magnetic fields are thought to play a critical role in the formation and evolution of galaxies and stars. And researchers are studying the magnetic properties of celestial objects to gain insights into their structure and behavior. Another area of research related to magnetic fields and materials is the development of magnetic sensors. Magnetic sensors are devices that use magnetic fields to detect and measure a variety of physical quantities, such as temperature, pressure, and motion. Magnetic sensors have a wide range of applications, including in the automotive industry, where they are used in anti-lock braking systems and airbag deployment sensors. They are also used in consumer electronics, such as smartphones and laptops, for applications such as compasses and touchscreens. In addition, there is growing interest in the development of magnetic sensors for use in healthcare and medical applications. For example, magnetic sensors can be used to detect and monitor the movement of internal organs during surgical procedures, allowing for more precise and accurate surgical interventions. Furthermore, magnetic sensors are also being used in the development of new technologies for environmental monitoring and resource management. For example, magnetic sensors can be used to detect and monitor changes in the Earth's magnetic field, which can provide insights into climate patterns and weather systems. In addition, magnetic sensors can be used to monitor and manage natural resources such as water and minerals, allowing for more efficient and sustainable use of these resources. In addition to the applications discussed earlier, magnetic fields and materials are also being used in the development of new technologies for transportation and infrastructure.